Hello and welcome to episode 33 of the We Were Athletes Once podcast. My name is Kyle. I am joined by Cody,
Hello.
and we are giving you a either Saturday or Sunday episode this week, depending on when it comes out, because there's a lot of things that we need to talk about when it comes to the baseball world. Maybe not a lot of things some of us want to talk about, but
Chips.
it's officially the end of baseball season. Award season has came and gone. Um, and before we get into that, I mentioned it in one of our previous episodes, but once again, I want to thank you guys for all of the views and engagement on our previous baseball episode. Specifically, you Dodgers fans. Not a lot of you agreed with our takes, but we appreciate you guys all the same for all the comments and all the engagement. And I can't wait for baseball's other biggest market to hate us after this episode. So,
Especially
um,
me.
yeah. Uh, Cody has obviously had a lot to say throughout the entire season about what we are going to be talking about today. And we're probably going to get another rant from him. So, buckle in for that. Um, but yeah, baseball season's officially over. Awards season has came and gone. And I think a lot of the awards are as expected in terms of who won. There's a few surprises, but uh, there is one big topic that we need to get into that we were very split on. And we were not split on who should win the award, but we were split on who was going to win the award. Of course, we are talking about the American League MVP. It was a very tight race between Aaron Judge and Cal Raleigh, and it ended up with Aaron Judge winning the AL MVP for the third year, the third time in 4 years, I believe, 22, 24, 25. So third time in 4 years, back-to-back years. Um, like I said, 17 first place votes. I believe he won by 20 points,
Yeah.
roughly.
It was 17-13 split.
Yeah. So very close race. The voters were just a split as we were.
I
Um,
wasn't split.
I'm talking about our opinions on like you thinking he was going to win the award, me thinking Judge was going to win. Uh, I want to talk about my opinion first because mine is a lot more tame, I would say. Um, I think Cal Raleigh deserved to win this award. Do am I completely upset that Aaron Judge won? No. I think Aaron Judge had an amazing season. Um, Regardless of what you want to say about the most valuable player award, I think if you take either one of those guys off of this team, off of the team that they were playing on, neither one of those teams have nearly the amount of success compared to it with them on the team. I would go as far to say probably neither one of them are playoff teams. The reason why, and it's another historic offensive season for Aaron Judge. The reason why I would have voted for Cal if I had a vote is just because of the standpoint of him and the value that he brings as a catcher. Doing everything he's doing, hitting 60 home runs, I believe hitting 100 and bringing 125 RBIs or something like that. OPS plus, I believe, was right around 150. I'm going to bring up his stats really quick, which I should have had up already, so pardon me for that. Slash line of, where is his? Slash line of 247 average, 359 on base, 589 slug, the 948 OPS, 169 OPS plus. Did that playing the hardest position on the field. Hit 60 home runs, 125 RBIs. He stole 14 bases. Like, walked 97 times. He played, not platinum glove defense like he did last year, but still a very good defensive catcher. The only catcher in the history of baseball to catch 1,000 innings without any passed balls. There's so many little details that you need to be able to perfect to be a productive big league catcher. And having the season he had while also, doing what he did defensively and running the pitching staff. I know a lot of people don't think catchers run the pitching staffs anymore. Some of them do. You're right. Some of them probably don't, but some of them do. And by all accounts, Cal is very invested in the pitching side of things as well. So, I can go through and read all of Aaron Judge's stats as well, which I'll probably will do at some point. But do I feel like Cal Raleigh got robbed? No, not necessarily. Would I have voted for him? Yes. So that is my view on it. Cody, what are your thoughts?
Cal Raleigh got robbed. Plain and simple. I don't care what Judge did. I don't. Stat-wise, did he have a better on-base? Did he have a better batting average? Yes. Do I care? I don't. And here's why. Cal Raleigh, just take position out of it, hit a home run, one every 9.93 at-bats. That is number 27th all-time, tied with Babe Ruth. Okay? We're talking Babe Ruth. Then, when we continue to talk about his actual position, not designated hitter / sometimes right fielder, but catcher, the hardest position in baseball, not an opinion, fact, who runs one of, if not the best pitching rotation in all of baseball in Seattle. He logged the third most innings caught and the third best, what did they call it? Quantity of work and quality of work for his defensive value as a catcher. He was third ranked in all of baseball as overall defensive value. And that was only behind Real Muto. No, I lied. That was behind Patrick Bailey and Alejandro Kirk. He only trailed Real Muto and Contreras in innings caught.
By the way, I also want to point out Cal Raleigh, 159 games played this year, 121 at catcher, 38 behind the plate. 121 at catcher, 38 DH. Aaron Judge, 152 games played, 95 in right field, 57 at DH. So
yeah,
that's
a third of the time you're DHing though, and like a sixth of the time Raleigh is, and that's because you have to get a catcher off their knees. Like they just can't do it like that anymore. There aren't any more Yadier Molinas that are going to be back there 140 to 160. Like it just doesn't happen. If you need an offensive player to run your team, you got to give them some days off if they're behind the plate. And that applies to one player and one player only, and that is Cal Raleigh. Because no other catcher is carrying his team on offense like Cal Raleigh did. And that doesn't go into every single catching record that he broke this year. The prior home run record for catchers was Salvador Perez a couple years ago at 47. He beat that by 13. Shattered it. What was the record for switch hitters?
54, I think.
54.
I think Salvi had 48.
Salvi had 47.
Did he?
Yeah.
Well, Mickey Mantle, I know, had the switch hitter record.
Okay, so you broke Mickey freaking Mantle's record. So we're talking Babe Ruth. We're talking the catcher record by 13. We're talking passing Mickey Mantle for most switch hitter home runs. I don't freaking care what Aaron Judge did. This is the most historic season by a catcher by a billion times. And when we go back and we talk about from future us 10, 20 years from now, and we talk about the 2020 season, we're not talking about Aaron Judge having a high batting average and on base. We're talking about Cal Raleig's historic season. I don't care what they did. I don't. You are playing the hardest position with elite defense, putting crazy innings on your knees, and you were leading the league in home runs and RBIs. I don't care. This was a complete robbery, and there will never be another season like this from a catcher. Period. End of conversation.
Yeah, it's tough. It is. I understand where people are coming from when they're looking at all the stats that Aaron Judge led the league in, and then you're looking at what Cal Raleigh did, and it's just home runs and RBIs. But I would say those people aren't really looking super deep into the woods like they probably should be. Like,
Because guess what? The MVP is not just about hitting. Like, that's all that people looked at. You go, oh, what were their stats? And we look straight at batting. And when they're batting, we've got higher on base, we've got higher batting average, we have better home runs, better RBI production. If it's that close, you have to go to the thing that actually matters too, and that's on the field. And Aaron Judge played a third of his games not in the field and at a way, way, way less premium position. You stuck him out in right field. Like, come on. And you've got a elite defender behind the plate. I don't care. And I will 100% say this. If Cal Raleigh is playing in LA or in Philly or in New York, he wins the MVP.
yeah, I think you're right in terms of the award is not supposed to just be about hitting, and it hasn't been for a long time. I think as time goes on, it is people are just starting to look more into hitting, and they're not really, again, looking into. I mean, I think the biggest stat that people are looking at is WAR, which I don't think really values catchers like they should.
It doesn't.
Because I'd like to point out for all those years that David Ortiz played, he never won an MVP. And the reason why he did that was because he was a primary DH. And so at that point, people were looking at the entire skill set. But even then, like I think about the 2006 AL MVP race when people were looking at how good of a hitter Justin Morneau was, and I don't even think that was it. I still can't tell you why Justin Morneau beat Derek Jeter in that MVP race,
I
but
can't either.
Derek Jeter was the better all-around player,
100%.
and he was the more valuable player to his team, and yet he lost that MVP to Justin Morneau.
You're talking the second most important position on the diamond
Yeah,
behind catcher.
yeah, and I've also seen a lot of Yankees fans online being like, "Oh, well, what about when Aaron Judge lost the MVP to Jose Altuve? He should have won that MVP."
You should have.
We can easily
100%.
say that he was the better player that year. They both played on playoff teams. If that matters to you,
Shouldn't.
it shouldn't. But yeah, Aaron Judge should have won the MVP in 2017. Cal Raleigh is the first player
To ever
ever
hit 60 home runs and not win it.
to hit 60 home runs for a playoff team and not win the MVP. I believe
That's a joke.
I believe the only other person to not win the MVP hitting 60 home runs is Mark McGwire. I might be wrong on that, but I believe Barry Bonds won MVP when he hit 70 something. Sammy Sosa might have, and he hit 73. Sammy Sosa might not have 1 year, but I believe Sammy Sosa has two MVPs. I think he hit 63 times, so he might have missed one. I believe Roger Maris won it. I believe Babe Ruth won it. And if he didn't, it was because back then you were maxed out at one MVP in your career.
Yeah, 98 was
98 was Sosa.
Sammy Sosa. Yeah.
I think Sammy
90
Sosa.
And 99 was Chipper.
Okay, I think Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire both hit 60 that year, if I'm not mistaken.
In '98, McGuire hit the 70 and didn't win MVP.
Yeah,
And then in '99, he hit 65 and also didn't win the MVP.
yeah. And I believe Sosa hit like 62 or something like that. So there's been a couple seasons like that. It's mainly been Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. But again, the Cubs and the Cardinals they weren't bringing value to those teams as playoff teams, and they weren't, which again, there we can debate all night long and if that should matter. But
I mean,
they weren't bringing value as bringing their teams to the playoffs, and they also weren't bringing value as again what Cal Raleigh was doing behind the plate. Sammy
no, I
Sosa,
mean, was
Sammy
a
Sosa
joke of
was
an outfielder.
yeah, Sammy Sosa was a below average corner outfielder. Mark McGwire was a below average first baseman who was only playing first base because there wasn't a DH in the National League.
I mean, you could, like the '98 MVP race is one that I understand why Sosa got it, but it's hard to take. Like, McGuire hit 70. The most historic thing that had ever happened in baseball. He had 11 less RBIs. His batting average was 9 points lower. His on base was 93 points higher. His slugging was 105 points higher. His WAR was 1.4 points higher, and he did all of that in 41 less at bats. Like, I think that was a robbery. Um, but I think this is worse.
Oh, 100%. Like I am not of the opinion that I think either one of them could have won the MVP and in '98 and it would have been okay. I'm somewhat along that mindset this year, but and again, I've been expecting this entire time. Originally said Cal Raleigh needs to hit 50 home runs and to potentially win the MVP, and I end up moving that up to 60 home runs
And he didn't.
to win the MVP. And then by the end of the season, I still thought, well, he hit 60 home runs, but they're still going to give it to Aaron Judge.
Joke.
Um, I do want to bring up Aaron Judge's stats real quick because we brought up brought up Cal Raleigh's because again, very good. Slash line 331, 457, 688, 1.145 OPS, hit 53 home runs, 114 RBIs. He walked 124 times, including 36 intentional walks, uh, which that's another thing that I saw people talk about online is the fact that people were more scared of pitching to Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge would have hit 60 if he didn't have all those intentional walks and he didn't miss those games and all that stuff. And
But he didn't.
you're right. If he didn't get intentionally walked 36 times, he probably would have hit 60 home runs.
Maybe.
But again, the issue with that is Aaron Judge.
Basically saying 25% of the times he got intentionally walked, he would have hit a home run. I'm not going close to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible, but even without that, he's not doing it as a catcher for one of the I don't want to say most overperforming teams in baseball because this is a really good Mariners team. But
Team with a lack of offense, though.
yeah, it didn't have a whole lot of offense. I do think he made a lot more of an impact in the pitching game than a lot of people want to give him credit for.
100%.
Um, I think this was a really good Mariners team, but I don't think it's as good without Cal Raleigh.
Oh, you don't think it's as good? No, that's debatable if they're a playoff team.
Yeah, well, I mean,
I
and
think so.
we saw how bad the Yankees were whenever Aaron Judge wasn't in the lineup. Like, you can physically see the impact that Aaron Judge made because he missed 10 games in a very important time in the season. And, I don't know. It's
I'll never
This
agree
is
with this one. It doesn't matter what anyone says. You want to come at me in the comments, that's fine. You're wrong.
please
Aaron
do.
Judge had a
Please.
great season. That's fine. Aaron Judge had a great season. Maybe his third best season ever. Cal Raleigh had a historic season. Great
Yeah.
season versus historic. I'm taking historic as the MVP all day long.
Yeah, let us know in the comments what you guys think, because I think this is one of those MVPs that will be debated for years to come.
If you disagree, that's fine, but I will debate you, and I will not budge.
Just like a lot of Yankees fans still debate 2017 and still debate 2006, there are still going to be a lot of people that are debating 2025 in 2035 or 2045. So,
I think this one's wrong, just like those other ones were wrong.
yeah. So we both have our opinions, but let us know.
So Yankees fans, when you want to come after me because I'm saying Judge shouldn't win it, I was right there saying Jeter deserved that MVP, and it shouldn't even been close. So this is not a me hating the Yankees things. This is who should have won.
Yeah. Moving on to the other MVP award, we'll talk about it really quick.
Unanimous.
Shohei Ohtani won unanimous MVP for his fourth time. Only Barry Bonds and Shohei Ohtani have won more than 3 MVPs in their career. Barry Bonds won
got
7.
steroids and a better. Let's go. Both of them cheating. Shohei's not cheating. He's just gambling. It's fine.
Yeah. Just in case Dodgers fans don't hate us enough.
Yeah.
No,
Listen. There is a federal investigation that has taken years and months to years at this point with basketball and betting and all kinds of things going on. And somehow Shohei gets cleared in like 7 days. Give me a break.
The opinions reflected by Cody Whitaker does not reflect the opinions of the We Were Athletes Once podcast.
It reflects this half of it.
Yeah, so Shohei won his 4th MVP. We don't need to talk about it too much. I don't really think there was a debate.
No. I think the debate is Shohei the greatest player of all time already? 5 seasons in.
It's very possible. I think the
fact that he's only played 5 seasons and we're already considering it is insane.
He's played more than 5 seasons. He was the 2018 Rookie of the Year, so he's played 8 seasons.
Oh. Well, he's won 4 of the last 5.
He's only been a good player for 5.
Well, he was injured all of one of them.
Yeah. One of them was 2020.
I forget about the Angels time. I think he tries to do that as well. So does Mike Trout, but
yeah. And that's always how it is. Albert Pujols is going to be remembered as a Cardinal. Anthony Rendon is going to be remembered as a National. Shohei Ohtani.
Let's be for real. Anthony Rendon won't be remembered except worst contract in baseball history.
Yeah. Shohei Ohtani will always be remembered as a Dodger, and Mike Trout will be remembered as a Philly once he finally gets traded over there.
He won't be remembered as anything but a failure because he couldn't stay healthy and he played for the horrible, horrible Angels.
Okay.
And refused to ever get out of there.
We can calm down with the failure thing because Ken Griffey Jr. is remembered as...
He didn't get hurt 3/4 of his career.
Yes, he did.
Not 3/4. There's no chance he missed as much time as Mike Trout already has. Listen, Mike Trout, the first, 5 seasons, we were talking about him being passing Pujols already as that guy. And then he couldn't stay healthy, and he plays for a trash dumpster organization.
I'm just saying they both probably have discussions of the greatest player of all time if they both weren't injured.
Oh, he's an absolute stud. Absolutely. But he can't stay healthy.
Yeah. I mean, going back to Shohei, again, I just want to get through it really quick because there's not really a whole lot to talk about. Even last year when he won the MVP unanimously, he was going up against a shortstop who did everything, but he became the first member of the 50-50 club. Like, he undoubtedly, even without pitching, brought a level of value to his team that we've never seen before. Um, I've always been of the opinion that Shohei would be a lot more valuable of a player if he chose one side of the ball or the other, because it would allow him to stay healthy more. And I think the last few seasons have reflected that, because these are the best offensive seasons that Shohei has ever had, and he did it without really pitching all that much. I think between the last 2 seasons, he's pitched 40 innings. So, I will also honestly go on record to say there's probably more guys capable of doing that than zero before Shohei Ohtani. Like, there's probably at least a handful of people that could have been really good pitchers in the big leagues and chose to be hitters.
I mean, we've seen it happen. It just no one's been elite at it like Shohei. Michael Lorenzen did it both sides. We've seen it already. He's like, what, 35 or something? He's getting up there.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm talking about even more than that, though, in terms of like people that never got an opportunity to pitch in the big leagues. That being said, the fact that he's been able to do it for 8 years now and be very good player, like be a very good player on both sides of the ball for as long as he has, it's ridiculous. Not really much more to talk about. His opponents were Kyle Schwarber and Juan Soto, which Juan Soto, sneaky good season.
I'm glad he took third.
I think he probably should have gotten second in this race. But yeah, that's
what does Jimmy get you? Nothing. Got you nothing.
Interesting. I mean, I guess not really interesting, because we both had these guys in our discussion, at least when we were talking about managers of the year. Pat Murphy and Stephen Vogt.
I was actually shocked that Stephen Vogt won it, and I still don't think he should have.
Yeah, you picked AJ Hinch, didn't you?
I picked. Yes.
You either picked AJ Hinch or Dan Wilson, because I picked John Schneider.
I think I picked Hinch over Schneider.
Yeah, so you picked AJ Hinch.
That's who I had 1-2.
Which, by the way, I think he came in
fourth?
Like 7th.
That's so stupid.
Did he come in 4th?
I don't know. I'd have to pull it up.
Sorry. Again, should have this up already. MLB Manager of the Year award winners. No. This is not what I want. Why are... I know Stephen Vogt won, John Schneider came in second, and I think a lot of what got Stephen Vogt this win is the fact that they were behind by so much and they were able to have that insane run at the end of the season. Because I think there's a world where AJ Hinch wins this award if he is able to hold on to the lead that he had for so long in the year.
Hinch was 5th.
Was Hinch 5th? Okay.
He got 1 second place vote.
Yeah.
That's it. Insane.
I think once he lost that grip that he had on the AL Central, I think that probably lost him his shot at Manager of the Year.
And I still think if that's the case, fine. I think John Schneider deserved it over Stephen Vogt.
I'm a big Stephen Vogt fan.
I really like Stephen Vogt. I just didn't think he deserved to win it.
And I do think he is one of the best managers in baseball already. Would I have given him this award? Probably not. Just again, because how much the Blue Jays seem to overperform in the regular season. Because these awards,
Yeah,
what happened in the postseason
doesn't
means
matter.
absolutely nothing to these awards because the voting is due at the end of the season. But good
Also,
for Steven Vogt.
how did Alex Cora get a first place vote? Joke.
I imagine probably a Red Sox writer.
And that's 100% why Hinch was fifth and Cora was fourth. That was the difference, was his one first place vote.
Yeah, Cora had 0 second place votes and 2
Two
third place votes. Hinch had 1 second place vote and 3 third place votes.
Yeah.
Um,
Also,
it was Steven Vogt in first, John Schneider in second, Dan Wilson third, Alex Cora fourth, AJ Hinch 5, Joe Espada 6.
yeah. Also, let's go over the NL real quick. I don't like the results in this because how did Pat Murphy not win it unanimously? Listen, Terry Francona is one of my favorite managers of all time. But come on.
I can see it. I think
Not first place votes. I think
I
he should
think
have earned
because
every second place vote.
I think because the Reds are still like considered a young team and not a lot of people really thought they were going to take the step that they took this year in making the playoffs. I think a lot of that does have to do with, again, a young team being managed by a guy with a lot of experience who is able to connect with anyone in their clubhouse. That's always been Terry's MO since his days, managing the Phillies, even when it wasn't successful.
Okay, but let's be for real here. I love everything you just said about Terry Francona. Love him. That team doesn't make the playoffs unless multiple teams completely implode. Specifically the Mets.
It's true.
Like the Reds hung in there. They did not win a wild card spot. The Mets blew up magnificently and lost a playoff spot.
That's true, but again, I do think the fact that they were able to take advantage of the opportunity they were given, which isn't something that the previous Reds teams of like the last few years would be able to do. I do think that's why there were some people, and again, I imagine one of them was probably a Reds writer, but uh, either way, I don't have a problem with how the voting turned out.
I mean, the right guy won. I just think it should have been unanimous.
Rob Thompson came in third. I question how he got a first place vote, but that's neither here nor
Yeah.
there. Craig Counsell came in fourth. Clayton McCullough, who had a great season this year with the Marlins,
Yes.
came in
Should have
fifth.
been above council.
Uh, Torey
Torrey
Lovella came in sixth, and then Mike Schilt, our guy, came in seventh place.
The notorious.
Yeah. Man, we could do a whole podcast episode one. I know we talked about it last time. We could do a whole podcast episode one day on Mike Schilt.
Oh, we could, and it'd be awesome.
It's such a odd situation. We're gonna leave that for another time, though. Before we go into Rookie of the Year, I want to talk about something that I mentioned really quickly before we got on. Of those 6 awards that are voted by the Baseball Writers Association of America, that is capable of being repeated, because Rookie of the Year isn't something that you can win 2 years in a row. We haven't talked about Cy Young, by the way. Let's talk about that before I get there.
Okay. The right guys won.
Yeah, the right guys won. Tarek Skubal won for the 2nd year in a row, unanimously, I believe. And Paul Skeens won unanimously for the National League. Let's see if I can find.
Google did not. Crochet got 4 first place votes.
Oh, Skubal didn't win unanimously. I thought I saw that he did.
Unanimously.
Yeah, Skubal came in first. Crochet came in second. Did get 4 first place votes. Hunter Brown, Max Fried, Brian Wu, Carlos Rodon, Aroldis Chapman,
Mm-hmm.
Good for him. Uh, Jacob DeGrom, Drew Rasmussen, and Trevor Rogers.
Interesting, right?
Sure, let's go with that. Um,
Well, and then first and second were both unanimous in the NL.
yeah, it was Paul Skeens, Christopher Sanchez, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, and then Logan Webb, Freddie Peralta, Nick Pivetta, Jesus Luzardo, Andrew Abbott, and Zach Wheeler. Which,
That's scary. Andrew Abbott being on there. That Reds um, rotation is going to be nasty soon. Please,
yeah, the fact that
please get
it's
them some
not
offense.
the fact that it's not Hunter Green or Nick Lodolo or one of these other guys that people expected to be carrying this rotation.
That's scary.
Yeah. Also, Zach Wheeler getting there at the end. Zach Wheeler was on pace to be one of the top two, and
Yeah.
probably the reason why Paul Skeens doesn't win unanimous, if not for uh, his injury that he had. Uh, Again, hopefully he can recover from it pretty well. He can come back, pitch through his contract like he wants to. He said he only wants to pitch through this contract, so
I mean,
hopefully he can do it, and hopefully he can still be at the level that he has been for the past few years. But I believe he's
yeah,
34,
he's
35 years old.
35. He'll be he'll be 36 early December. Like he's going into age 36. He'll be 36 when this year starts.
Yeah, I believe his contract ends after 2027.
So he wants to pitch 2 more years.
Yeah. So hopefully he can do it at the same level that he has for the past few, but we'll see about that. Yeah, so talking about that now, of the 6 awards that we talked about that are voted on by the Baseball Writers Association of America, 5 of them are repeats. Both MVPs are repeats, both Manager of the Year are repeats, and the AL Cy Young is. The only difference is Chris Sale won the NL Cy Young last year over Paul Skeens. Does this say anything about how the Baseball Writers Association of America views voting for these awards?
I think so. Um, hey, let go. I think that. I mean, I don't know. Actually, I don't know. Because I think for all but one, do they vote on Manager of the Year?
Yeah.
Okay, all but 2, I think they got right. So 4 of 6, I think they got correct. So that would mean 3 of the repeaters, I think, were the. Ooh, I will knock you out, dog.
Cody got a new puppy a couple not too
Yeah,
long
and it
ago.
was on my lap, and she just tried to bite me for no apparent reason. So, and her name is Ripley, and she also thinks, like her name, that Cal Raleigh got ripped off. So, but I think as far as the repeats go, I think Shohei obviously should have repeated. I think Tarek Skubal obviously should have repeated, and I think Manager of the Year Murphy should have repeated. Other than that, though, like I think it's okay. I do think at times it can be problematic one way or another. We can get so focused on one guy just always winning it that we go into automatic mode that that's who should win it. And I feel like that's what happened with Aaron Judge. We got New York bias. He's won consistently. We're just going to keep it there. If he has a good enough season, we're voting for him. But I also think it can go the other way at times where people can get sick of voting for the same person over and over again. I wish there was a better way to do this. I wish this was a player's vote instead of the baseball writers, because some of the baseball writers I think were idiots with their opinions. Some of the stuff they say is just straight up ignorant. And looking at their voting, some of their voting is ignorant. So I don't know. I feel like there's not a great way to do it. Um, but I think it's just like Hall of Fame voting. I think it's an absolute joke as well. So I don't know what the solution is, though. I can be mad at it, but I don't have a solution for it. So, you know, out of the 4 or 5 returners, I think 3 of them were correct.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of on the same path as you. I have seen a lot of times where bias does come into effect, and when we were talking about previously about how like storylines matter a lot more than they should when it comes to MVP voting, I think you see a lot of that. Um, but like, I don't think, for the most part, it's not super egregious to where like every like anything's like I I don't even want to say that because sometimes these votes are egregious, but I don't know. I don't think it's anything like that can't be fixed. But again, it's just weird. I think this year is. I would again agree with most of the voting that happened. I think the only one that I don't agree with is the AL MVP, and even that, again, I'm a lot more 50-50 on that than you are. Uh, I don't know. I just wanted to bring that up because I do think that bias happens, but I don't think it's that came into effect this year. But I want to talk about Rookie of the Year real quick. What's
You want
what's
to say hi?
happening?
Son just keeps sneaking over, trying to see what's happening and hears voices. And so I was like, "Do you want to say hi? Because you're sitting here watching him."
I saw you looking over and laughing, and I started to
Because
lose
he kept like tiptoeing, sneaking, peeking his head around the corner. I'm like, I can just put you on here, dude. It's fine.
my. Looking at Rookie of the Year voting, I think when we predicted these awards, both of the people that I predicted ended up winning.
Not me.
Um, yeah, the NL you were off on, but
And I still
AL
think that's a
AL
very
was
good
super.
debate.
Yeah, let's talk about AL real quick because that was super obvious.
Yeah, Nick Kurtz.
Nick Kurtz. I'm
My
shocked Nick Kurtz didn't get
MVP votes.
MVP votes because yes, he plays for a bad team, but uh,
Again, voting bias.
slash line he had 290 batting average, 383 on base, 619 slug, a 1.002 OPS. The thing that I'm looking at doesn't say his OPS plus, but as a 5.4 WAR, 173 OPS plus, and 5.4 WAR in 117 games. Um, he also hit a 4 home run game earlier this year. He was really all the offense the A's had this year. I mean, this kid proved he's legit.
What stat were you looking for?
Do you have anything to say about Nick?
Uh,
I found his OPS plus. It was 173, so 73% better than league average.
I mean, he only slugged behind Aaron Judge and Shohei this year. Like, and it was barely behind Shohei. Um, this kid was phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot more to say about him. He came up right away, looked the part, was their offense. Hopefully, the A's will move to Vegas. Hopefully, and that will give them the revenue to actually spend like a major league team, and that they put something together finally. Um,
And when we get the salary cap, we also get a salary floor.
Hopefully, there will be a
Spend.
floor. Listen, I'm telling you, if you make the floor 125, cap it at 250, lots of problems solved.
Um, yeah, he's on pace. He was on pace for a 7 or 8 WAR this season. Like I said, he did all that in 117 games. Runners up: Jacob Wilson, Roman Anthony, Noah Cameron, Colson Montgomery, Carlos Narvaez, Jack Leiter, other guys. I That's the top 7. Um, National League: Drake Baldwin, catcher for the Braves, uh,
Shocked.
won Rookie of the Year. Again, this is the one that I predicted.
I'm
Uh,
shocked. I'm shocked he won it, but I'm shocked why he won it as much as he did.
yeah, he had 21 out of 30 first place votes. Cade Horton, who pitches for the Cubs, came in second place with 9. Uh, I mean, Drake Baldwin did take a lot of uh, the slack that Sean Murphy left this year when he didn't really have a year that you expect from Sean Murphy. And that allowed them to kind of have a little bit more of an even platoon between him or I wouldn't even say a platoon because I believe Drake Baldwin also hits right-handed.
Baldwin. Yeah.
A little bit more of an even split. Allowed Murphy to have some DH days. It allowed him to have some rest days. Uh, he batted 274 with a 341 on base and a 469 slug, so 810 OPS. Uh, had 19 home runs.
Baldwin is a lefty. He throws right, but he
Is
plays
he?
left.
Oh yeah, he is. So yeah, they had a platoon. I looked at it wrong whenever I clicked on him, but yeah, 3.3 WAR in 124 games. I think it's pretty deserving.
I don't think it was a bad choice. Um, I'm just shocked. Um, you've got big market team Chicago. You've got a pitcher who I thought recency bias was going to win out here because he didn't start the season at the big leagues. He didn't start the season hot, but that second half that he had was absolutely phenomenal. Um, so again, say what you want about me being a homer, but I thought the Cubs player should have won it based on the end of that season. Um, but I do think Drake Baldwin had an amazing season. He's hitting 26 points over league average, and he's playing catcher. And all know how I feel about catcher already. It's the most important position in baseball. So I don't think it's the wrong choice. I'm just shocked that A, he won, and B, he won by that much. And also looking at these results, this is where I want to call out stupidity in the baseball writers. How does Matt Shaw have a single vote for NL MVP or NL Rookie of the Year? He's got a third place vote, a fifth place vote. Dude was terrible. The Cubs are trying to find a third baseman to play there because of how bad and disappointing Matt Shaw was. Give me a break. Jacob Mizrowski should have been higher than him, and he wasn't. Come on.
Jacob Mizrowski had a 4.36 ERA this year.
And had dominant moments, and I'm still going to say he was better than Matt Shaw with his 4 whatever ERA. That's how bad Matt Shaw was.
I mean, he had a 690 OPS, which I believe is around what league average was this year, 98 OPS plus, so pretty close to league average. He also played really good defense at third base. He ended up with a 3.1 WAR this season, which of everyone that got votes in the National League, the only person that had that had a higher WAR than him was NL Rookie of the Year Drake Baldwin.
It wasn't pretty.
And if you
Chicago
include
fans
that
were
on the
calling for
American
him
League side,
to not be playing.
well, yeah, but that's because it's a guy not setting the world on fire the second he gets to the big leagues, and people starting to act like the sky is falling.
I mean,
Matt Shaw had a fine.
he was a below league average hitter. He hit 226.
Again, he
Supposed to
was
come up
98.
this guy,
He was
but
98% of a average hitter, and played really good defense at third base.
I still don't think he should
I
have had
think.
votes.
Um, I mean, the guys above Matt Shaw, again, Cade Horton, Caleb Durbin, and Isaac Collins, two rookies
Good
for the
players.
Birds, was really impressive. Dalen Lyle, who, not gonna lie, never heard his name before in my life.
I was just looking at this list and I said, "Who the heck is that?"
Yeah, but good for him. Augustin Ramirez,
He's going to be good.
at least they got something for Jazz Chisholm.
I
Uh,
mean, hey,
Chad,
he looks good. He's going to be a good little catcher back there.
yeah, Chad Patrick, another Brewers pitcher. Jacob Marcy and Jack Dreyer, the other guys that were above Matt Shaw.
Who the heck is Jack Dreyer? The
Um,
Dodgers have 72,000 players making billions of dollars. Who is Jack Dreyer, and how did he get enough time? He better be a reliever.
he came over in some sort of trade. Yeah, he's a reliever.
Okay, that's the only way he got playing time on that team because they don't have a
67.
bullpen.
He had 67 games this year, 5 games started.
There you go. Already better than Matt Shaw.
Well, yeah, he finished above Matt Shaw, though. He came
I
over
know.
in some sort of trade. I can't remember which one it was. I don't know, 26 years old.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I know how you feel about 26-year-old rookies.
Yeah, he wasn't a prospect, though. He can,
You can be a rookie, but not a prospect.
yeah. One more real quick thing I want to just mention real quickly. I don't think there's anything that is out of the ordinary or not expected from this list, but I do want to mention the Gold Glove Award winners and the Silver Slugger Award winners. Again, not going to get too deep into it because I don't think anything's out of the ordinary here, unless you find something out of the ordinary. Gold Gloves, catcher Dylan Dingler of the Tigers, first base Ty France of the Blue Jays, second base Marcus Semien of the Rangers, third base and shortstop Michael Garcia and Bobby Witt of the Royals, left field Stephen Kwan of the Guardians, center field Ceden Rafaela of the Red Sox, right field Wilyer Abreu of the Red Sox, pitcher Max Fried of the Yankees, utility Mauricio Dubon of the Astros, and team Texas Rangers, with Bobby Witt Jr. winning the Platinum Glove. The National League side, catchers Patrick Bailey, first base Matt Olson, Giants Braves, second base Nico Horner of the Cubs, third base Brian Hayes, shortstop Mason Wynn of the Cardinals. Had a boy, finally getting it done this year. Left field Ian Happ of the Cubs, center field Pete Armstrong of the Cubs, right field Fernando Tatis Jr. of the Padres, pitcher Logan Webb of the Giants, utility Javier Sanoa, we'll go with, of the Marlins. Also never heard of him, but he plays for the Marlins. The team was the Cubs, and the Platinum Glove winner is Fernando Tatis Jr. So good for them.
Don't necessarily agree with Platinum. I also think that there was one robbery, and that was the Team Gold Glove. The Toronto Blue Jays should have won the Team Gold Glove in the AL. And I don't think it's close.
I honestly think it's kind of close. The Royals could have.
I agree. But if you look at now, actually,
I also think the Red Sox probably could
like
have.
no, if Red Sox ranked third, if you looked at fielding run value, the Blue Jays had a value of the team as 45, and the next closest was at 28, and then the Rangers were in fourth with 20. It's not particularly close how much better the Blue Jays were than everyone else in the AL.
I also find it interesting that the Blue Jays don't have, like, the Blue Jays' only Gold Glove winner is Ty France, who came over at the trade
He
deadline.
only played 23 games for him, and they had 6 finalists.
He's
And
Ty
Clement
France. Ty France won the AL Gold Glove between what he did with the
yes,
Twins and the Blue Jays.
yes.
So
But they had 6 finalists, and technically 5 because Clement was a finalist at third and at utility and didn't win either. I think this is a very, very good defensive team. Like, if you look position by position where they ranked in DRS, um, catcher, they were 22 points higher. First base, they were 4 points higher. Second base, they were 16 points higher. Third base, they were 11 points higher. Shortstop is the only shortstop and center right field were the only ones they were higher. Um, and that shortstop was a significant one. It was 28 points. And then right field, again, significant 26 points. But then, again, left field, you're a point higher. Center field, 16 points higher. I guess they also had pitching, but I don't care about pitching fielding unless you throw the ball away 8 million times.
PFPs are important.
Hey, I agree, but I think this was an easy, easy win by the Blue Jays.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Especially with like I also think there are a lot of players on that team that don't really get their flowers in terms of how good defensively they
Wow.
are. Also, I'm shocked that Dalton Varsho didn't win a Gold Glove.
He's a great fielder.
I'm also shocked he didn't win the Platinum Glove last year, just because I still can't get over that because he had like 30 something defensive runs saved. It was ridiculous.
I also don't like Tatis winning.
It's his second Platinum Glove.
I
I
don't
believe
like
his
it.
second in a row.
Um, yeah. My problem is I'm going to be biased here, and just take Mason Wynn as the example. I haven't looked through all the stats for all of the defenders in the NL. His fielding percentage is higher than Fernando Tatis Jr. at shortstop than a right fielder.
Yeah, fielding
Anytime a
percentage.
shortstop fielding percentage is higher than an outfielder, I've got a problem with that. Fielding run value, Fernando Tatis Jr. was 9. Mason Wynn, 17. Almost double the value at a more important, more difficult position.
Yeah, when you get into more of the analytics side of it, then I'll listen to it. But I'm not a huge fan of fielding percentage as a stat. But since that's
But if we're going DRS, we're going all of that stuff, Mason Wynn was significantly better. And that's just looking at one player.
well, I also don't believe this is even a Baseball Writers Association of America award. Um, I believe Rawlings gives this out. Uh,
They're voted on by managers and coaches.
oh, interesting.
75% of the vote comes from
Well,
them.
you see, your answer doesn't fix
Yeah, well,
the
those people
voting
are
for.
stupid. Okay, well, let's go with bias then. Who gets seen more? Team in LA area, San Diego, California, or a mid-market St. Louis team who was bad this year?
I mean, to be fair, the Padres play later than like a lot of the East Coast teams don't
Yeah,
get to see the West Coast
but
teams.
LA,
Even
San
even even
Francisco,
central
all
even
those.
Central Time, their games start at 9 o'clock for us.
I just think that Fernando Tatis did not deserve to win the Platinum Glove. Bobby Witt had a down year and still won it because he is a monster.
And he deserved it, Red Sox fans. All those Red
Yeah,
Sox thinking.
freaking Rafael Cedeno should not have won that. Shut up. You are absolutely wrong.
Let's move over to the Silver Sluggers.
The
American
Red
League.
Sox fans, you come at me too. I don't freaking care.
American League, Cal Raleigh, Mariners. First base, Nick Kurtz, A's. Second base, Jazz Chisholm of the Yankees. Third base, Jose Ramirez, the Guardians. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr. again. He won the Gold Glove, the Gold Glove, the Platinum Glove, and the Silver Slugger.
Because he's a monster.
Pretty good. Outfield, Aaron Judge of the Yankees, Byron Buxton of the Twins, Riley Green of the Tigers, DH George Springer of the Blue Jays, utility Zach McKinstry of the Tigers, and the team Silver Slugger went to the Yankees. National League, catcher Hunter Goodman of the Rockies, First base, Pete Alonso of the Mets. Second base, Ketel Marte of the Diamondbacks. Third base, Manny Machado of the Padres. Shortstop, Geraldo Perdomo, who I believe came in fourth place in the MVP voting.
He did. He had a lot of second place votes too.
Yeah, he plays for the D-backs. Outfield, Juan Soto of the Mets. Corbin Carroll of the Diamondbacks. Kyle Tucker of the Cubs. DH, Shohei Ohtani of the Dodgers. Utility, Alec Burleson of the Cardinals.
Woo-hoo.
I'll get into that in a second. Team Silver Slugger went to the Dodgers.
Shocking.
Look, I get Alec Burleson stands at a couple different positions, and they claim he plays them.
This isn't about defense, though. This is about bat specifically.
I'm saying that he won a utility Silver Slugger as a
Does he
DH.
play first for us? Yes. Does he play left field for us? Yes. Does he play right field for us? Sometimes.
I'm hoping next year they play him. If he's still on the Cardinals, he is a DH like he should be. Because they're talking about
I think he's our first baseman when they trade Contreras. So
he's not going to. He has already said he's not going to take a trade.
he's just wait until Sonny Gray and Nolan Arenado are gone.
He knows this team's not going to be bad. All right, this team's not going to be good. He said,
Just saying, when those contenders start calling and this team's stripped, we'll see. Also, this made me think about this. How did Bobby Witt finish below Jose Ramirez when he won the Silver Slugger, the Gold Glove, and the Platinum Glove?
I do believe Jose Ramirez. He won.
I mean, I love Jose Ramirez. I think he's so underrated because he's in Cleveland and he doesn't get the respect he deserves. But you won a Platinum Glove and the Gold and the Silver Slugger at shortstop.
Yeah, but when it comes to him winning the Silver Slugger at shortstop, his competition was shortstops, like that don't really normally hit all that much. I do believe Jose Ramirez ended up with a higher WAR and more value to his team, and also again, Guardians made the playoffs.
Nick Kurtz did get a couple of votes, but he still finished below Byron Buxton, Jeremy Pena, Junior Caminero. The rest of them I'll be okay with, but he should have been above those three.
Yeah.
There's rookie of the year and Gold Glove. Or Silver. Oh, just Silver Slugger, not Gold Glove. Sorry.
Yeah. Also, other things to talk about. Edgar Martinez Award went to Shohei. Of course it did. Comeback Player of the Year. Jacob deGrom in the American League and Ronald Acuna Jr. of the National League. I could very easily see a 2026 MVP loading for Ronald Acuna Jr. Because that's just
stay healthy.
Huh?
Can't stay healthy.
So he normally tears his ACL, comes back with a fine season, and then the next year wins the MVP, and then the cycle repeats. So this should be.
He came back from injury and re-injured himself, and
this should be the MVP turn for.
Listen, you can say tears his ACL, comes back, wins MVP, and then tears his ACL again. We're talking multiple ACL tears here. That's not the same player.
He's also only 26 or 27.
I don't care. ACL tears multiple is a different animal.
Relievers of the year, as we expected, Edwin Diaz and Aroldis Chapman. And executive of the year, Matt Arnold, who is the general manager of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I believe the only other things to talk about before we exit out of here are there were a couple managerial hirings since the last time we came on. The first one, very expected. Walt Weiss became the manager of the Braves. We always knew that they were expecting to hire internally, and
I love it.
What's that?
I love it.
Yeah.
I was
They went with a guy with managerial experience when he played or when he was
yeah,
the Rockies manager.
when he played.
Okay.
I don't like anyone as the Rockies manager.
Yeah. Walt Weiss is 61 years old. Had a 13-year playing career from 1987 to 2000. A's, Marlins, Rockies, Braves. Ended up becoming the manager. He was an All-Star, two-time World Series champion. One-time World Series champion as a player. AL Rookie of the Year. As a coach, he was the manager of the Rockies from 2013 to 2016. Has been a coach for the Braves since 2018, and now getting promoted, getting his second shot at managing. I do think Walt Weiss is a very good baseball mind. Like I said, we always knew it was going to be someone hired from within that has been under Brian Snitker. I like it. It's not exciting because you always like to hear the big names and the first-time managers, but doesn't always need to be exciting.
No, I don't. I was listening to someone complain about some of the managerial hires, which I understand some of them, but it was all about um, there weren't any black managers that got hired. There were some candidates, but none of them got hired, and they were throwing a fit over it. I don't care what color you are. I don't. I care that you hire the best person for the job, and like we're seeing some Asians get hired, we're seeing Hispanic get hired. They're throwing a fit because a college coach got hired and not someone else. And I'm like, dude, you're getting new faces still. And yeah, you can complain about some of the retread coaches because someone like Shelton gets another chance and he's older and he just hasn't been with a good team. So like I get a couple of them, but like you can't throw a fit about every hire because it's not an African American. Like at some point, that's not what ultimately matters here. Now, if they're the best person for the job and they get screwed over because of that, then absolutely that's a problem. Um, but some of these hires, like one of
Like
the ones
we
he
talk
threw,
about, if we bring it over to football, like Brian
yeah,
Flores.
yeah, Brian Flores got screwed, and I'm still mad about that because he's a great coach. But he was like throwing a fit about what's his name, the catcher that got hired,
Suzuki.
Suzuki. And I'm like, you don't want a black manager hired there. Like they're going to be gone after 1 year because of how that organization is run. And then you're going to be even more mad. Like you don't want that situation for him. So I don't have issues with most of the managerial hires. I wouldn't have chose some of them. I like the innovative thinking. Like you can be mad about Joey V coming over from college without the experience, but it's something that hasn't been done, and it's a little bit of outside the box thinking, and I think that's something that baseball needs. We're too stuck in the retread of coaches constantly. So when some of these guys that haven't managed in a long time, like a Walt Weiss, but is a really good baseball mind who is an ex-player, like I don't think that's a bad hire. Like you can't just say that because it's a white dude.
Yeah, and the other hire I think was very surprising to both of us because
Oh, for sure.
the entire time in San Diego, we have heard Nick Hundley, Ruben Niebla, Albert Pujols, and we heard about Albert Pujols' 9.5 hour interview that he had, and it seemed like a done deal. Well,
I would have put big money on it.
yeah, and all those reports had always said there's one or two other names in the pool, but they had never been announced who it was. Well, one of those names was announced when the Padres announced that Craig Stammen is getting hired to be their new manager. Craig
Wow.
Stammen, another guy with a 14-year major league career, uh, pitched as a reliever with the Nationals from '09 to 2015, injured all 2016, came back and pitched again for the Padres 2017 to 2022, retired during the 2023 season after having an elbow injury. and immediately became part of the Padres organization as assistant to the major league coaching staff in 2024. In 2025, he became an assistant to the baseball operations department. Or sorry, I believe he was both throughout both of those years. And the Padres also decided to go with an internal option with Stammen, a guy who's never managed before. Again, had a little bit of experience both with coaching and the player ops side of things with the Padres. Uh, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Craig Stammen?
Um, like I said, I couldn't believe that that happened. Um, like, how do you have a 9.5 hour meeting with somebody who is one of what the top five baseball players of all time? Um, and everything points to him, and then you hire a guy that hasn't even been mentioned in your managerial candidates. Um, I thought this was a shock. Um, I mean, I remember Craig Salmon as a pitcher, so he's got baseball background. Um, he was a reliever, so he understands how bullpens work and how to utilize them best. So, I mean, I don't know. It's not what I would have done, and I'm honestly just shocked by it in general.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense to me. Again, wanting that internal hire, and especially when it's a guy like this who had a long big league career and who has intimately been a part of your
Yeah,
organization for 10 years now. Uh, the only thing that I can think of as to why Craig, because when we ask why Craig Stammen over Albert Pujols, it isn't a why did you hire Craig Stammen? It is a why didn't you hire
didn't
Albert?
you hire tools? Yep.
And I think a lot of that does just come from the name value, the fact that Albert Pujols is a top 10 baseball player of all time, and people want to see him as a manager, especially us here in St. Louis. We want to see Albert Pujols manage, and we want to see him manage in a place where he can succeed.
I mean, I think yeah, I want to see that. I don't want to see him anywhere but St. Louis, honestly. But my biggest thing with it is, I can't believe you had a 9.5 hour interview with someone and didn't hire them.
Yeah. And the
That
only
was
thing I can think
shocking to
of
me.
as to why is because, again, this is an internal hire in a spot where the main thing that the San Diego Padres need is stability. There's talks right now about the Seidler family selling the Padres because the Padres were Peter Seidler's passion project. That he wanted to see this Padres team succeed. And I don't know if his kids or the rest of his family necessarily have the same viewpoint of it. They more so see it as a business venture. And
Yeah, I
now
just wonder.
all the situation with everything going on with them right now, they seem like they just want it to be over with.
I just wonder because there has been talks about the team getting sold again and who's going to do what with it. If Pujols was going to require um, some kind of buyout from the Angels on top of a contract or something, and it was just going to cost him too much to be able to do that. And Stammen, like you said, he's been with the organization as a pitcher. He's been in coaching, and now he's their manager ultimately. And somebody who's 41, who's never managed before, isn't going to command the kind of contract that potentially Albert Pujols would, and potentially, I mean, this is just me guessing that because he's still under that um, contract with the Angels, that they might have to pay some kind of buyout for him to be able to go there.
Yeah, and they want so it from everything that I've heard from the reports, it seems as though Albert was asking for a contract that is larger than what you would normally expect from a first-time manager. And also, I think a big thing that he wants is his own coaching staff. And again, that talks about the stability of, you know, what is this Padres team? what's the organization going to look like for the next few years if they're talking about selling this team? And is it a good idea to bring in a big name manager with that's probably going to ask for a lot of money and bring in a whole new coaching staff when again you don't know what the ownership group is going to look like moving
Yeah,
forward. So
that's fair.
I think when it comes to this move, you have again a guy in Craig Stammen who intimately knows a lot about this organization, has been a part of it for years, and probably won't be a whole lot of turnover to this coaching staff. Uh, so I like the move. I don't like it for Albert. There is one managerial job open right now, and I don't think it's one that anyone wants.
It is not.
It is the Colorado Rockies, and I don't think we've even heard anything about the Rockies uh, managerial search because they had spent so much time looking for their new GM. Um, I still keep seeing stuff about Warren Schaefer, um, who was their interim manager last year. I'm assuming he's probably going to have at least a shot at regaining his role. But the Rockies just hired Paul DePodesta as their head of baseball operations, uh, of Moneyball fame. You know, he
Yeah,
was the guy who Jonah Hill's character is
he was the
based
guy.
off of for Moneyball. He has spent the last few years working in football. I believe he was the head of football operations for both the Browns and the Ravens over the past few years. Now he's coming back to baseball, and he knows how to do a lot with a little. And it doesn't seem like a spot for Albert Pujols, but it seems like a hire that the Rockies needed to make. And I'm sure he knows exactly what he's looking for when it comes to his new manager.
Yep. I like the hire for them because I think it's outside the box thinking for them, and they've got to do that in that ballpark with how pitching goes there. They got to figure something out. So, I like the movie. Hopefully, he can bring the real life thing to Colorado, and they might be relevant again at some point because it's been a long, long time since that's happened.
Yeah, so I think that's going to do it for us because I have to get on the road to get to cover the Mizzou game tonight. We appreciate you guys watching. Let us know what you think about these awards and what we can look forward to going in the off season. I know you can still look forward to a lot of content from us. It'll be stuff that's a little bit more out of the box thinking. But again, we also just do this to talk about sports. There's just a camera in front of us now.
Well, and we're coming to my favorite time of the year. Like, baseball season might have ended, but it's hot stove season, and I love the off season.
Yeah, so let us know what you think. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Uh, if you're watching on Apple Podcast or on Spotify, give us a 5-star review. Let us know what you think over there too. Be sure to download our podcast, follow our podcast, do all that stuff. The support that we get really means the world, and all of the interaction that we get from you guys means the world, whether it's positive or negative.
Dang, bro, someone wants to contact you.
It's my stupid old roommates. Blame Aaron. So that'll do it for us, and we will see you guys next time.
See ya.